Hello everyone, welcome, and this is my first video, a very short video to talk about some basics tips of Blender modeling. I'm going to talk about some basic operation of Blenders. Hope that it is useful for you. So let's get started. We have the default cube. So maybe you already know, but I will talk about some really basic operation. We can press S key to scale it, R key to rotate it, and of course you can press X, Y, Z key to constrain your operation around the axis. So if you press RY, it will be rotated around Y axis. RX, it will be rotated on X axis. It is very basic, but if you are from other modeling software, it may be useful for you. So scale key, S key work in the same way. SY, SX. Okay. So we are going to talk about some fundamental modeling concept. First of all, many people use E key to do their modeling. Extrude. E key is like that. You press E, then it will move along the normal of the face. We are talking about the normal of the face. So what is normal? Simply speaking, normal is the direction of the face, the facing direction. So every face has its normal. If you want to view its normals, it is simple. You can press the menu key and then click this small button, display normals, then they will be displayed. You will see that the face normal is pointing outward. Normal is a very important concept in 3D modeling software. If you want to know more about normals, you may search on the web. Why it is so important? Because many operations, many calculations in 3D software heavily depends on the face normal. Let's say if the mesh has incorrect normals, most of the operations will not be correct. It is very important, including many add-ons, many tools, Blender itself. Correct normals are very important. So if you have incorrect normal, how to fix it? You can fix it. In fact, you can select all the faces and then you can have mesh normals, and then you have these tools to fix the normals. Recalculate outside is one of the important tools to calculate the normals again. But we are not going to talk about it in depth in this video. So let me turn off the normal. Okay. So we are talking about Extrude. Extrude is fun, but how to do a little bit more complex thing in Extrude? We can do that combining other operation later. Okay, so this is Extrude. You can do this. You can select two faces and Extrude. So why they are extruding in this direction because when I select these two faces, then pass E key, they will be extruded along the edge face of their normals. So for these faces, the normal is pointing this way, and for these faces, and for this face, the normal is pointing this way. So this way is their average. So if you pass them, if you select them and then pass E key, it will be extruded in this direction. So they are controlled by the normal of the faces. So we have other more advanced operation for extrude. If you select the faces and then pass Alt E, it will be a small menu, so you can use some more advanced extrude. For example, extrude individual faces. Then you can extrude it in this way, separate individual. For example, if I select 3 faces, then Alt E, extrude individual faces, then it will be extruded this way. They are very useful in some complex modeling. Okay, so this is extrude. We will talk about it more later. So another important tool is bevel. Bevel is the most important tool in 3D modeling, maybe. We use bevel a lot. So I switched to edge mode by passing tool key. So I'm selecting edges and then pass Ctrl B. It will be bevel. So it is bevel. It will be cut on the edge. It is very simple to use. So we can also select a face and then pass Ctrl B to bevel it on all edges of the face. So it is bevel. So what is the other use of bevel? For example, we can bevel on this edge loop and then inset it. How to do that? How to select the edge loop and then bevel it? For selecting an edge loop, we can select one of the edge and then double click. If you double click, it will select all the edge on the loop. So the 3D viewport is not centered along the edge loop, so the rotation is a bit uncomfortable. In this case, we will use the dot key on the numpad. So the 3D viewport, this area is centered around the selected element. You can center the viewport by anything. For example, if I switch to face mode and then select this face and I want to work on it, I can pass dot key on the numpad, so it is centered. I can rotate around it. Very comfortable. Okay, so we go back to the edge loop. Tool key, select the edge, dot key, center it, double click, select the loop. Okay, so we select all the edge on the loop. We can Ctrl B to bevel it. It is bevel. Okay, we can do two kinds of things. You can pass E key. Oh, E key does not work. It is shift. Why? Because all the selected faces have their individual normal, so it doesn't work. It is averaged. So we undo it. we use Alt E. Its two faces are non-normals. We can extrude it along their normals. Or you can do this by another way. You can just part E key and then confirm it. So it had the extruded faces on their same position. And then you can pass S key to scale it. It is different because when you scale it, it gets larger on the x-axis too. So you will see that these edges become longer. But originally, it is shorter. So we always bevel it and then use Alt E, extrude along normals to do these kind of things. It only scale on this normal direction. So you can measure it this way. It's cool. Or you can inset it. It does work on any mesh, not only on the square tube. For example, if I make a cylinder as said to scale it, and then we can cut it, and then how to cut the cylinder, we can use Control R. Control R, then you will see a ring. We can increase the cut by scrolling up on the mouse using the mouse wheel. So you can cut it, 4 cut. Okay, so 2 key to edge mode, and then I can double click to select this edge. Dot key to center it. Okay, we are rotating around it. Control B to bevel it, and then Alt E. Its two faces are non-normals. We can extrude this way to make a small ring, or we can Alt E. Its two faces are non-normals to inset it. It is useful for some hard surface modeling. So, but sometimes we think that these edges is too sharp. We want it to be a little bit smoother. So, how to do that? Bevel can do that. So we are using edge mode. Double click this edge, and then we hold the shift key, and then double click this edge again. So we are selecting 2 edge loop at the same time. We can Control B to bevel it, and then we can roll the mouse wheel to increase the cut of the bevel. So you see that it become a round shaped bevel. It is a little bit smooth. We can cancel it. Do it a little bit smoother. We can do the same thing to the inner edges. Double click it, hold shift, double click this edge loop again to select all of them, and then Control B, drag it, and then left click to confirm it. So now we have a very smooth round edges. This is very basics modeling in Blender, not specific to hard surface, but Hope that it is useful for you. In fact, Bevel can do many kinds of things, but we will talk about it more later. So we are going to talk about another common operation, inset. So what is inset? We face mode, select a face, and then press the I key. We insert it. Okay, this is inset. Why it is so useful? Because we always want to insert something. For example, if we work on this face, top key to center it, we can select these two faces and then insert them together. So we have a smaller face in this part. Then we can E key to extrude it, insert it again, I key, E key to extrude again. You can select these two faces, I key to insert it, and then E key to extrude it. This is some very basic common operation. So inset is especially very useful for cylinder. Some is very useful for circles because we can extrude it, bevel it, and then select it again, insert it again, extrude it negative, extrude it inside, and then bevel the ring again to make it smooth, select the face again, insert it again, extrude it negative, and then insert again, and then extrude it. So we are making some kind of cables or some hard surface too. You can do some very detailed modelings on the cylinder easily by combining the three operations: extrude, bevel, and inset. They are the basic modeling operations. Okay, so we can do it forever. You can I key and then extrude it, I key, extrude it. You can do it very easily. Okay, switch to edge mode, double click, and then bevel it. We can decrease the cut by slowing down on mouse wheel. Okay, so make it sharper. Okay, this way, and then confirm it. So we have a very cold sharp edge. Okay, so we are going to talk about some more useful function. When we do some complex modeling, always we have to use the predefined view or numpad. They are key 1, key 3, key 7. The front view, left view, and top view. Why? Because we can move the things easily. How to do that? For example, if I add the cylinder, okay, it will be created at the location of the 3D cursor. So I scale it SC. Then I want to move it to the top of here. So how can we do it? I can select the cylinder first. So the cylinder is a separated mesh. How do we select it completely? A very important key in Blender, it is the L key. First, we click the empty space to deselect everything. Be sure that we are not selecting everything. Then we move the mouse on the mesh we want to select. Then we pass L key. It will be selected. The whole mesh, the connected geometry will be selected. Okay, I do it one more time. Deselect everything. Move the mouse cursor to the mesh and then L key. It will be selected. Okay, I use L key to select this, and then I can use G key to move it around. But if I use G key this way, it will be moving around the screen space. It is not useful. So I can do it by two ways. The most simple way is that GX, I can move this way, and then GZ. Okay, it's done. It's the most important way to move the things. Select things, GY, GX. Okay, it's not correct. GY, GX. Okay, then it's done. Another way is that we can select this thing and then use the numpad key, switch to font view, and then pass G key again. We can move the mesh on this font pen freely to any location. And many times it is very convenient. 3 key, and then I can duplicate it, copy it. How to copy meshes in Blender? Shift D. Using Shift D, you can duplicate things. Okay, I copy the mesh and put it here. So we have 2 cylinders now. Let's say we want to move them together. I pass 3 key on numpad, select them and move them, select them and move them. Okay, so using numpad key, we can move the meshes around easily. It is very important fundamentals of 3D modeling. Okay. Another important thing is that if we are making a large spaceship, a very complex model, sometimes there are too many things in the viewport. Many meshes, many models. For example, we have many things on the viewport. Many things on the viewport. Okay, I'm copying those meshes. Okay, we have many meshes in the viewport. It is too complicated, but I want to concentrate and work on this cylinder, exactly this face, using add-on or using other tools. How can we do that? We have 2 important methods to do that. First, we can use the numpad dot key to center our view to it. Okay, it's centered. But it is not convenient because this guy is here. So we can hide them using H key. We can select it and then H key, H key, H key. Okay, it is disappeared. We can show the hidden mesh again by pressing Alt H. So everything hidden will be shown. Okay, but it is not very good way. It is very troublesome. Of course, I can use L key to select the whole thing and then pass H to hide the whole mesh. It is better. It is better, but it is still a little bit troublesome because we have many meshes, and I only want to concentrate work on this thing. So how can we do that? I can select this face and then pass Shift H. Using Shift H key, everything will be hidden. And I can concentrate work on this. I key, extrude, I key, extrude, and then Control P to backfill. Okay, finish. Then I can exit by pressing Alt H to show everything again. So when we are working on some complicated meshes, some large spaceship, big robots, we can hide everything and then concentrate on some important parts. Okay, so today it is the end of this video. Thank you for watching and hope that it is useful for you. See you again.